Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your average tanker, and today we are going to be taking a look at the T-43 in the eyes of an average player. So, this is my first video on this channel, so I'm just going to preface it by saying this is my current account stats. Um, if you were to go Google my account name on the TanksGG website, you would see that my overall win rate is, I think, 1170, somewhere around there. And my recent win rate for my past 1,000 of these 6,500 battles has been like 1,700. So I'm definitely, I would say, an above average player, but my stats don't show it. So yeah. My most played vehicle is my WZ, the Tier 8 Chinese Premium. Um, when I got this tank, it wasn't because I needed crew training. I don't have any other Chinese vehicles at all. It was just because I needed credits, and I saw the DPM this thing packs and was like, oh, that must be nice. So I've two-marked it, and yeah, I would say I have a decent understanding of how to play the vehicle. But recently my focuses have been in this, as well as recently I got myself the EBR 105, um, and the 277 I guess as well. That's not really recent. But yeah, so as you can see, it's definitely, I would say I'm a bit above average when it comes to my performance in the EBR. I do better than 90% of people when it comes to damage each game. I have a 60% win rate, and I'm averaging over 3,000 combined each game, which is, it's not the best, obviously. I only have this thing one marked with like I think 71%, yeah, 71% on the mark of excellence. Um, but yeah, I'll be doing another video on this shortly. But for now, I've played 15 battles in this T-43. I've gotten everything unlocked, and I am just trying to get the T-44 while the 140 is on track. I'm not going to go for the 140 though, because I feel like to play this tank, you need to have a lot of heat. Yeah, that's going to sound really dumb when I say what I'm about to say, but I just feel like that's the way you play this tank, is with a lot of heat spam. At least for me, because, I'm not always smart enough to get into the proper positions to where you won't need heat. So I'm going to go for the 430, which has bad pen, and then the 430U, which has bad pen. But with these tanks, I can play them more like heavy mediums, which I like, because from what I understand, this tank, the 277, is essentially a really, it's like more of a medium heavy, like a more mobile heavy tank that sacrifices hull armor. And then I feel like the 430U is like a less mobile medium tank that sacrifices mobility to gain armor. So I feel like they're not necessarily similar play styles, but there will certainly be things that they share. So for today, we're going to play the T-43. In the current setup I'm running, I feel like, if you're an average player such as myself, you can probably run directives. Because with the new bond equipment, or the new bond earning mechanism, you'll earn 200 minimum, and if you're getting some medals in your tier 10s, if you play them often enough, you'll certainly make bonds. Like, I've been running directives this whole time, and I've actually made like 200 bonds over the past week, so it's completely doable. Um, but yeah, so since this is the first time I've gone down the Russian mediums, um, I have had to just kind of like, it's been a completely new crew the whole time. So my goal is like my goal is to get the crew as, good as I can get it before moving to the T-44, but I'm not going to hold myself back in order to get the T-44. I'll realistically have a one skill crew. Um, but yeah, as you can see, I've gone down the Russian heavy line. I know some people are going to really think this was a dumb mistake to free XP through the T10 because it's such an amazing tank. But for the purposes of Clan Wars, I needed the 277, so we did that. For the EBR line, the only tank I free XP through was the EBR Hotchkiss. I played this, I marked it, I played this, didn't really find it like a good tank. Because the low tiers, they're so bad, honestly. This tank even is trash because it has no view range. You can't see anything. Same with this. The Lynx is where you finally have a decent amount of view range, and you have enough of, like you have enough of a tank to make it work. Because now you can go at 80 kilometers an hour. And you can start using all of the great mechanics of combining rapid travel and cruise mode and quickly turning. The EBRs are a lot to learn, but they are definitely one of the most threatening tanks in any kind of fight. So I've been averaging 1600 combined in this, 1300 damage a game, which has gotten me a 17 or 73% win rate. So we're gonna keep going with this. But yeah, once we get in game, you'll see my actual account stats in the eyes of an XVM user. So yeah, let's see. All right, we got a battle. Okay, Westfield. Are we top tier? That's the question. No, we are not. Alright, so we're bottom tier. So this is going to mean a little bit more of a passive play style, but not like crazy passive. Looking at the enemy lineup with two Arties, there's not really a whole lot of Artie safe positions on this map. I guess if you went city, that would work. I'm not taking a bottom tier medium tank with no armor to city. And by city, I mean this area around here. So we are going to go down the 9-0 line and try... This tank is actually quite mobile. I would say for a Russian medium at least, you're doing 50 to 55. So yeah, it's definitely a maneuverable tank. It's not like, how am I trying to say this? It's not really like when I think of a Russian tank, I think of kind of slow with a good gun that has bad gun handling, I guess, with good armor. This tank really does not fit any of that stereotype. This tank has poor armor, but against lower tiers you can catch the occasional ricochet, as well as you can side scrape in this tank against a lot of lower tiers. I'm not entirely sure what the actual number is for the side armor, so I'm gonna go quickly look it up. Medium, tier 7, Russia, T-43. Alright, so this tank's side armor, you have a 75mm plate, so you can side scrape against anything, and it won't be able to overmatch. So that's nice, but the armor, it's only 75mm, so if you over angle, you're not gonna. I don't want to go up that far. There's a light tank up there. I might take a hit here. I don't take a hit here. That's nice. Okay, we need to punish this type. This is not looking too good. We have a lot of support though, if you look at the map, right around the G4 area, so I'm not too worried about it. I am worried about the fact that I can't pen this type, and we just lost a full tier 8 medium tank, because he just would not play safe. I can't sit here anymore. I need to run. I'm just going to take damage from this guy if I decide to sit here. So we're out, and we are going to run. I'm going to take up a position where this Lanson is and see what we can do. I know the score right now for us is not looking very good. We're down 1,500 hit points, we've lost a flank, and I've done 0 damage. So as a start to this game, it's not looking very good, but people underestimate tier 7 tanks. The DPM on this tank, I think I have 2,400 or so. That's pretty good. What's it called? The Object 430, the tier 9 medium, has 2,500 DPM. So this tank is not lacking in DPM in any aspect. I will say though, people are going to view it as a bit of a letdown that this tank uses the same gun as the T-34-85 if you decide to fully upgrade it, which you should. But the rate of fire does get faster. And when you do have to face tier 9s, you just have to accept that you need to play passive, and that's the only way to play. You cannot make aggressive plays. I'm gonna have to load gold for this guy. Or you cannot be leading the charge for your team. Did gold even pen this guy? Alright, I got spotted by that. I'm not really sure how. Oh, this is ass too. Maybe they were shooting at the Lanson? Spotted TDP. This is a very bad position to be in. Yeah, this was a poor play by me. That was an awful play. So, that's, me as a 1700, I say 1700, recent 1700 1A player, but current 1170. Having a 0 damage game in the T-43. So this game, I'm not even going to end the recording and start up a new one, because this game is going to be over so quickly. Just like this. We have a pair of E25s that are, I don't even know, like, what do you want to call this? The benefit of this tank is its DPM and its camo. You don't want to get spotted. This guy is trading with the King Tiger and the Samoa, so take that as you will. We have a KV3 Sturv, yeah, Sturv is dead. I mean, I guess you can look at the you can look at the stats of this game and just say like, yes, we have a statistically horrible team compared to this highly experienced and pretty decent team. I mean, look at how many people. All right, these guys were all anonymized, so there are two reasons I think people anonymize. I'll say three reasons people anonymize. One is because their stats are good and they don't want to get XP focused. That makes sense. The second one is because their stats are horrible and they don't want to get stat shamed in a game if they make a mistake, which I completely get. I wish people wouldn't stat shame like that to try and make people feel bad about playing a game, but they do, so I get it for people doing that. And the third is if you're a YouTuber or a streamer with popularity and you don't want your name being shown in game, because most popular YouTubers have pretty good stats too, so that kind of falls under the first category. So my bet for these guys, I don't really know, they're not platooned or anything, but we'll check them out after the game and see how they did. Obviously, I'm not in a position to stat shame people, and by no means do I want to demoralize or diminish anyone or anyone's feelings, I guess, with this, but let's see. So that was a terrible game, 0 damage. I got like 23 spotting damage or something like that. But you can see, there are many of you out there who would definitely have made a better play after realizing we lost the flank. I had the awareness to notice we lost it and I needed to fall back. That was about as good as it got, because right after that, I took up a terrible position and wasn't able to do anything from it. So let's see, these E25s had an okay game. I mean, that's not particularly good for an E25, but to be fair, they were up-tiered. Okay, who anonymized? The Pat in Korea did. Yeah, so he anonymizes because his stats are not good. Lanson anonymized. It's a Lanson, so okay. Okay, wow. This kind of a result, you just need to like have no really, like, obviously, you know, he's probably having fun. He's playing a Lanson, that tank's pretty fun. But he's not contributing anything to his team. So let me go look up at this guy's recent 1-8. Okay, his recent 1-8 has been 174. So just to put that in perspective, my recent 1-8 has been 1,700. So I have about 10 times the 1-8 of him. I just had a bad game. So yeah, we just did not have a team compared to their statistic. Let's look at this Scorpion, very good player. Let's look at this E25. Average player, but he's playing an E25 and he clearly knows how to make it work. With Samoa, below average player, but he's playing a Samoa, and he clearly has a decent understanding that that tank is a good tank that you can play. So anyway, that was a bad first game, but we are going to go, and we are going to take it into another one. My clan is holding skirms right now, which I might participate in a bit, but I don't actually have. The only other tier 6, because I had to sell the 3485 in order to buy this tank. The only other tier 6 I have is the heavy tank number 6. And if you're familiar with Clan Wars, that's not a particularly good tank for Clan Wars. It's basically a Tiger with a short 88, but the Tiger doesn't have good armor against tier 6s even. But the Tiger's armor is only effective when it gets a full down tier and faces tier 5s. That's it. Other than that, it's butter. Okay, so we're bottom tier again, but there are tier 6s this time, so I'm just going to look and see how many. I do use the zoom out mod, by the way, so you will notice I can zoom out pretty darn far. It just helps with my situational awareness, which is quite poor compared to others. So looking at this, I see one tier 8 coming this way, and just looking at their team, their CS52, it's a premium tank. He had to have bought it at this point. There's no one who has actually done the mission marathon for the tank yet. It's only been like 3 days, and that's not long enough. So I don't know if this guy is experienced. So, but chances are he's going to come to the, you know, C1, B2 area anyway. Because if you're playing a medium tank, if you've ever seen people play this map before, that's just where you go. Obviously, I'm not trying to say like there's only one place you can bring a medium on this map. Like, you have to understand what kind of a medium you're playing and where you can play it. If I were playing a sniping medium, I'd probably be sitting along these ridges right here. This is the railroad. If I were playing a heavy medium, I could still come over here, but I could also go fight the heavies if I needed to. Alright, let's track him. He doesn't have the gun depression anymore, so we can just farm. This is where you're going to see the DPM of this tank shine. This thing has 180 alpha, by the way, and I just reload every 4.5 seconds, so it's clearly good DPM, and you also saw me bounce a shot. Okay, I just should have realized that there are bushes there. I can't see through them. Okay, let's look. So, yeah, the turret armor is not good, but with 8 degrees of gun depression, you can make this tank work. Okay, this tiger is gonna go for us. This unit needs to die very quickly. Looking at me. He just shot. Okay, no he didn't, but I got lucky. I hit his commander, not cool. Okay, we set him on fire, that's good. He just shot that time. Okay, I'm gonna load HE after this in case I miss to finish him off. Yep, there we go, HE. Okay, he reloads very quickly. I can't spot him anymore, but I know he's still sitting there. HE didn't kill him. I didn't fall back. I'm gonna repair that because I need to be able to spot. I can't see this guy anymore. This game has already been a pretty decent game, especially for an average player such as myself. We've done 1700 combined damage. But I'm gonna wait for these guys to push and spot so that I can then use the fact that none of these people will be paying attention to me to farm. The other flank seems to be going quite well. We have a lot of TDs, so even if they break through this, they'll get halted pretty quickly. Now I feel comfortable moving up. The CS can high roll me, but he's over there, so yeah, I feel like some people now would come across the middle of the map and try to get shots on these guys. I think that would be a mistake. I think if you came across like this, especially with my HP, you can get clipped out by the 12T. You have no idea where the Liberté is. This SU can spot you and kill you. There's just... I have to wake up. Good God. I'm gonna load gold for this guy because I think his armor is pretty decent. But why should I give him the shot? Yeah, that was a dumb mistake. I slammed on the brakes once I realized it, but as you can see, I just made that mistake. Some people, I was a fool for making that mistake. I should have noticed there was a black prince who would have reloaded in 3 seconds and killed him. There was no need for me to go push. He high rolled me, I believe. I don't know. I think that's above the alpha of the gun, but yeah. Anyway, that is going to do it for this video. This has been kind of how an average player games work. So yeah, I mean, for me, I could have done more in this battle. Like, look at the amount of hit points that they have left up here. You know, 1500, 600. Well, I shouldn't say 1500. These only update whenever I can see the tank in my field of vision. So I never saw that Liberté. He could be on half health right now. I don't know. But this is still a lot of HP that I could have worked with. And if anything, my death just made it a lot harder for my team to win. But assuming this guy doesn't get clipped on by 12T, which he did. See, this is where these guys have very bad situational awareness. That Cromwell should have been... He should not be trying to face AT-15A frontally. It's just not how you play a Cromwell. He should have been focused on the 12T. He should have made that play regarding the 12T. So anyway, that's going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, like, if you watch this and you send me a message in game, I will obviously reply. This is a brand new channel. There's a lot to grow from it. But yeah, that's kind of that. So I think next I'm going to do a video on how an average player plays an EBR 105 and see how that gets me. This will be, because obviously I don't have a lot of tanks in the garage. That's kind of what happens when you're semi-free to play and you don't have the credits. So yeah, I mean, like, I can also make videos of me just grinding this for like an hour to get credits. Or my WZ. But just, yeah. Also, I mean, I would prefer you ignore the fact that I have a 46% win rate in this tank, because it's really like I'm doing better than 90% of the people in the tank, and I just can't win with my teams. This tank, for whatever the reason, I've been getting so many up tiers as well. And it's not like this thing can't handle up tiers. Yes, the armor becomes here is butter, and the turret cheeks are butter, and even these little like dimples up at the top are complete butter. But you can still, you have to remember this tank has a gun or two to fire back, and if you do tap 2, you can get 270 pen, and this thing's alpha damage is 780, because if you're in a top tier, you're looking for side shots and double barrels. That's about how good it gets. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the T-43 from the eyes of an average tanker. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good business. You guys know what to do. Thank you. Oh, well, okay. Just glitched out my thing, but there you go. We got to see we did win. And before we go, actually, why don't we take a quick peek? See how this went. Okay, so we got 1,000 experience out of that, profited 16,000 credits, not bad. Finished 5th on the team with 1,200 damage, 500 spotting and assistance. So not a very good game by, you know, a unicorn standard, but yeah. You know, it's good if you do more damage than the other person with the top XP on their team. That's usually a good thing. Damage-wise, we were actually 4th highest, but the Cromwell, that's a tier 6, and it did 1,500 combined in against tier 7s and 8s, and I did only 14. No, sorry. I did more than that, but it was against equal and lower, so it was like less XP. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. I will be making a video on the EBR shortly, so stay tuned for that.